Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Shifa Talk. This is I'm Talking. Today we'll dive into when faith feels, let's take a deep breath, heavy, the real truth about it. First, we'll be starting with Bismillah to start this episode. When we speak of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we want to dedicate it for Him. So, if you're listening right now, whether you're driving, lying in bed, making coffee, or sitting alone somewhere in a quiet place, I want you to know this first. You're not here by accident. You didn't just find this episode. Something in you needed this conversation, and I'm really glad you're here, alhamdulillah, because this episode isn't for people who have faith all figured out. It's for the ones who believe, but are carrying that belief quietly and heavily. So let's set the tone here today. This is for the ones who still believe, but are tired of trying to be strong all the dang time. For the ones who still love Allah, but does not feel His presence the way they once did or the way that you want it to be. For the ones who pray, but their hearts feel far from their lips. For the ones who wake up each day trying to be better, yet fall asleep every night wondering if they're failing anyway. This is for the hearts that love Allah, but feel that weight that weighs their faith down instead of being lifted by it. Not because you don't care, no, but because you are trying over and over and over again. And it's because it's the way that you learned your faith, the way that took the nur from it, the excitement from it, the enjoyment. The way that you received your faith was heavy, was strong, was punishable. So let's name these struggles that we all probably experienced. We don't talk enough about this side. We don't talk about enough this side of the religion. SubhanAllah, Islam is such a beautiful, beautiful religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful, the most forgiving, the most understanding. It's the people who present it, who made it nasty for us. We don't talk about what it feels like when faith stops being comforting and starts feeling like an exhaustion. We don't talk about what it's like when you open the Quran and it doesn't move you the way that people say it should feel like. You hear reminders and that pressure just weighs more heavier on you and takes away that peace that you once had or you're looking for. You make dua and the silence answers you back. You make dua and you feel nothing. You want to believe more, but you don't know how. We don't talk about how painful that is. To love Allah so deeply, so sincerely, but feel like you're not enough for Him. And the hardest part is that you feel ashamed for even admitting that. So let's break that shame right now, right here, in this moment, you and me. So let me say this slowly and honestly and truthfully. Struggling with your faith does not mean you don't love Allah. I'm just letting you know, I'm shaking my head while saying this. Struggling with your faith does not mean you don't love Allah. It means you are human. It means you are human. And it's okay if your heart is tired. It's okay that you've been sitting here in this silence, wondering, how the heck am I going to do this? What am I doing? How am I going to do it? It means you're trying to be spiritually strong, but also emotionally breaking. And that pressure, let's talk about that pressure. It was never meant to sit on your chest like this. That heaviness, that pain, that burden. Maybe what you're exhausted by wasn't Allah Himself, but maybe you've been exhausted by the version of Him that you were taught. That's the truth. That may not be the truth for everyone, but I would say some of us can relate to this. So let's talk about Islam and the pressure that our families, our communities, our culture, and society have placed on us. Many of us weren't taught Islam through tenderness. Mm. We were taught to fear before love, rules before any meaning, punishment before mercy. So when we stumble, we don't say, Allah help me, Ya Rab help me, Ya Allah guide me, Ya Allah hear me, Ya Allah forgive me. We say, Allah must be angry with me. Allah must be so disappointed in me. Allah would be ashamed of me. And without even realizing it, worship becomes performance. Prayer becomes effort. Religion becomes another thing you feel like you're failing at. And instead of Islam feeling like safety, it starts to feel like a weight. That heaviness, that demand, the unforgiving. But Islam was never supposed to make you feel afraid to breathe. Let me tell you the truth, what Islam was supposed to do. Let me tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did for us, what He created for us, what He wanted for us. Allah did not send this religion to drain you. No. He sent it to rescue you. Allah did not give you faith to break your spirit. He did not make it to burden you. He gave it to heal you, to prepare you for your akhirah, to prepare your soul for hardship. Allah does not want you to perform for Him. No. He wants your sincerity. He wants your truth. He wants your tears. He wants your honesty. Even when you don't have pretty words to say or anything to say at all, even when your iman feels weak, even when your heart feels heavy, Allah does not turn away from tired hearts. No, He doesn't. He draws you near to Him. He calls you. And He calls and He calls and He calls, and it's up to you in your own free will to pick up that phone call, to answer to Him, or to call Him back. So let's talk about that tiring heart of yours. If faith feels heavy to you right now, it doesn't mean Allah left you. It may mean you are tired of carrying things alone, and sometimes distance doesn't come from sin. Nope. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes distance does not come from sin. Sometimes it comes from a burnout, from this world. And it makes me so angry. From trying to be patient too long, too much, where you put your side, when you put yourself aside, my apologies, when you betray yourself, where you are requiring yourself to being too strong too often, from holding questions with no one to ask, or holding questions because you're afraid of being judged and ashamed or guilt-tripped, from believing and also hurting. Sometimes you don't need to do more, quote unquote. You need to breathe. You need to feel safe with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again. So let's reframe this. Let me offer you this truth gently. A believer who returns again and again and again, even broken, is more beloved than the one who never returned. Returning means you still care. It means your heart is still alive. Allah would rather see you crawling toward Him in pain than standing still in silence. There is a difference between strength and staying. Allah honors both. So let me encourage you right here, right now. You don't have to disappear from Allah when faith hurts. You don't need to run from him because you're confused, and you don't need to become someone else to come back. You do not need to become someone else to come back. Allah meets you where you are, not where you wish you were, not where you pretend to be, right where you are right now. Whether you're standing, laying down, walking, eating that nice donut of yours, eating those bag of chips, right now. So let's pause and reflect real quick. Let's talk about the truth. Some of us didn't walk away from Islam because we hated it. We walked away because it didn't feel safe, because it hurt, because we were carrying a version of faith that spoke loudly from other people. Those people ruined it for us. Those people forced their beliefs on us and made it feel like we couldn't come to Allah. But Allah knew that. Allah saw that. Allah never blamed you for being tired. He never looked at your exhaustion and called it disbelief. But let's be honest here. Returning to Allah should not feel like punishment. No. It should feel like relief, like exhaling, like softness returning to your chest, like safety. Islam should not feel like pressure to be perfect. It should feel like permission to be human. Allah doesn't call you to be unbreakable. He calls you to be real. So let's transition this a little bit. Now that we named all this heaviness, the exhaustion, the weight, we need to talk about why. Because many of us didn't fall out of love with Allah. We were taught to fear Him more than feel Him. I'm going to say that again. We were taught to fear Him more than feel Him. We were taught rules before mercy, yeah, and performance before connection. Oof. We were taught rules before mercy and performance before connection. We're going to talk about what happens when faith becomes emotionally unsafe. Because how you were taught, who introduced you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes shapes you on how you see Him, how you see yourself, and how your connection will be like with Him. It shapes everything. People leave imprints on you, and it's up to you if you want to keep that imprint or if you want to wipe it away. So, if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. If faith feels heavy, it does not mean you are failing. It means you are carrying more than you were meant to. It means you are trying to survive emotionally while still hoping spiritually. And Allah was never asking you for perfection. Someone else was. But as sure as heck I know wasn't Allah. He has always been inviting you to come closer, as you are. Not when you're healed, not when you're stronger, not when you finally get it right. Now, with the heart you have today, the struggles you carry today, and the questions you're afraid to speak today. Allah is not intimidated by your mess. He is near it. He sees it. He knows your pain. He knows your struggle. He knows what you're doing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful, most forgiving, most understanding. We're going to catch this on to the next episode, get a little bit more into detail. But first, at the end of this, I want to do a closing dua. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continuously carry us, to protect us, to guide us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to know our weight in our chest, the ache in our hearts the questions we whisper to ourselves at night. So take this moment, Ya Rab. Take this moment where we are seeking refuge, where we are seeking knowledge and guidance and clarity. Ease every heart that feels tired of trying. Soothe every soul that feels worn from hoping. Entangle this confusion in our minds and quiet the restlessness in our hearts. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, teach us how to come back without fear. Teach us that returning does not make us weak, it makes us loved. Remind us that you are not waiting to punish us, that you are waiting to hold us. When faith feels heavy, be the gentleness we forgot that you had always promised us. Ya Allah, forgive us. Ya Allah, allow our hearts to find safety in you and draw us near, and not from fear, but through love. Ameen. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for listening for today's episode. I really appreciate you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for being here with me today. I am signing off. So, I shall say my salams. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll see you next time.